Hello, I'm Necrolog. Obviously, by the title, you could see that this is like an art vlog video. It's more like those draw with me videos because this is like a voiceover. My AC is also like super loud right now, so I can't get good audio unless my mic is like literally in my mouth. So if you're looking for one of those like quiet draw-alongs, you're like in the wrong spot because I'm gonna be yapping the whole time. Anyways, if you wanna like draw or craft alongside me as I whine about school and artistically prepare for this school year, come along. It's also like 2 a.m. right now because I don't want anyone hearing me record, so sorry if my voice sounds a little weird or something. So as I said earlier, I'm Necrolog. I've changed my username like multiple times on various platforms because I usually like spell it wrong all the time. What I'm doing right now is that I'm just like decorating my notebook covers because I think it will make them look cooler, and hopefully if there's any other like art kids in the class will think I'm also really cool and come talk to me, and then I won't be so lonely. But yeah, the whole video is just like me decorating my school supplies. I'm not gonna be like audibly explaining what I'm doing because I think the video does a pretty like good job of that already. But I'll have like little notes on bits and parts that you usually would explain in an art vlog, but I'm not going to. Instead, you're going to be hearing me complain or talk about my art journey combined with school so far, and kind of like my expectations and goals for my art career this year. Anyways, I'm going to be a senior this year, which sucks because I'm going to college right after, and for some reason America hates college students. Like, can't wait to be in catastrophic debt, yippee! I actually don't plan on going to art school, but actually radiology, because it's like quick, associate's degree, it pays well, and very flexible, and I kind of just like see anything that isn't art as like a side hustle. Like, this is just something to get me by and put food on the table and pay rent when art can't. Because I don't think art is really known for its stability. People always sound pretty surprised when I say I'm not going into art school, because like drawing is honestly my only personality trait, and I've been drawing since as young as I could hold a pencil. And like most kids, I started taking my art more seriously when I was like 12. When I was in middle school, I actually applied multiple times to join an art high school like Victorious. They turned me down like each time, but jokes on them because people online tell me I'm good at drawing all the time, so they're really missing out. Anyways, I'm not only interested in just drawing, but honestly like anything related to art. I love theater, films, architecture, books, crochet, photography, pottery, clay art, sculpting, sewing, storytelling, cosplay, and like honestly the list goes on. Like, I could keep yapping. And like balancing all these interests is definitely a struggle, and it's something that I would like to incorporate into all aspects of my art, but I'm definitely not sure how. But, I feel like everything will work itself out. And I've definitely never really thought about how I got into art. Like, it just kind of was. I know as a kid, I loved copying down what I saw on TV. Shows like Pokemon, Powerpuff Girls, Monster High, Yu-Gi-Oh! And following art YouTubers like Lavender Town. I'll put like Delightful in there too. And honestly, anything Gacha Life inspired me. My more recent inspirations have been MCR, other art TikTokers my age, emo / like gothic novels like Interview with the Vampire, Phantom of the Opera, Twilight, and horror games such as Misao and The Witch's House, which have like been more so like recent inspirations that I've incorporated, but I've definitely always loved these since I was a kid. Like, I think I saw Corey Kenshin play Misao when I was like in 2nd grade, and I also saw Phantom of the Opera around there too. And I don't think I've really like tapped into them as artistic inspirations until recently, and I think you can definitely see it in like my art and how it's like been influenced by them. Like, the ungodly amount of vampires in my sketchbook and the equal amount of Gerard Way drawings are insane. And honestly, the pretty emo subject material like various monsters and people covered in blood, cause yum yum. Being an art kid in school, I've been involved in many art related activities. Like, since sophomore year, I've been a part of National Honors Art Society. It's given me some great opportunities to paint both inside and outside of school. One of my favorite projects that I'm looking forward to again actually is our painting bridge panels. We have this little art trail where I live, and on the way there's like a bridge, and on the sides of the bridge there's like these little like white panels that act as canvases, and every year like the art society kids get to paint on them and stuff. And towards the end of the year we also have like an art show. I see it as a great flexing opportunity. We just put up like these giant boards in the front entrance and hang our art on it. I'm always surprised that no one has ever vandalized any of the drawings so far. Other than that, I was also on tech for the musical. It also definitely taught me that in order to have big highs, you also need to have pretty steep lows. There, I've met like my current best friends I literally run over an elderly person for, but also some of like the most like people. I'm no stranger to people like disliking me. If you're also both an emo, art, and theater kid, it's inevitable. You know, like, we're weird. But never have I been in a room where like almost everyone dislikes me. If you're the weird kid in a group of weird kids, like, you know you messed up somewhere. Again, usually I don't care if people talk about me behind my back, because it's always like the same 3 things. Either that I'm too loud, I talk too much, or I only talk about weird stuff. Which again, I'm fine with, because I feel like that kind of stuff doesn't make me a bad person. It just makes me annoying, which like hurts my feelings just like only a little bit. And when we first started writing the shows, I heard that someone like absolutely was hating on me behind my back. And I was like, oh, what the heck? So I went up to the little brother of one of my friends, because they're like popular and they know everyone, and they're also on tech. And like, we're pretty cool, you know? And I just asked him like, oh, like, I heard that there's someone here that doesn't like me. Like, do you know who it is? Because like, the plan was just like to talk to them and like get to know them, and maybe they'd like me better, because I honestly have no idea who it is. And he was just kind of like, what? No, everyone's chill with you. He comes back 30 minutes later being like, yeah, I actually just asked everyone if they dislike you, and everyone said that you were fine. I actually want to kill myself after that, because now everyone knows that I asked you that, and now it's awkward. Like, I know he had good intentions, but oh my gosh. Like, after that, I noticed that some people were like openly rude towards me, and that kind of sucked. And I admit it, like, I've never been super good at making friends. Like, one of my first days on tech, I saw someone with like a cool looking bento box, and I was like, oh wow, did you make that yourself? It looks so good. And they completely deadpanned me and finally said, it's just eggs. I'm like, oh, okay. And I have 99% delusionally convinced myself that everyone is just like super jealous of me and my awesome painting skills. But like that 1%, it makes me think that there's just like something genuinely off-putting with the way I talk. I also never found out who really disliked me. So womp, I guess. But other than that, tech was like really great, because as a painter, I got like really good at painting, of course, specifically at painting like large, wide, straight lines without like the blue tape, and I've gotten pretty quick at it as well. Also made some of like my bestest friends, and I got to wear a cute outfit to the award ceremony, and you know, carried on to the end of the school year. And now that junior year is over, I realized that this summer is like pretty much my last summer break ever, like, because I'm the graduating class of 25. And oh my gosh, I decided to just completely dedicate my summer into art, and I really tapped into my new inspirations that I mentioned before. For a quick summer recap before I get into all like the senior year school stuff, I guess, during June I spent a lot of time exploring and finding things I like to draw, mainly Gerard Way and other monsters like vampires and witches and werewolves and all that. And I switched over from like my thin line pastelish colored anime girl drawings that were definitely inspired from like the early 2000s to honestly like the exact opposite. Thick lined, bold, brightly colored, and black shaded drawings completely just like consumed me. Really like trying to understand what I like to draw is what I think could describe June for me. During July, I spent my whole month focusing on Art Fight. My first year, by the way. It was pretty cool. I used to think that everyone online was just like genuinely insane, mainly because I'm on TikTok where everyone is genuinely insane. But for the first time, I found out that people were like actually really talented and really cool and also like really nice. I saw a lot of people actually criticizing this year's art fight, and sorry to anyone who had a bad time, but not me, because I had a great time. As a kid, I never bothered to like befriend anyone online or on Discord and stuff like that. Like, I think the closest I got was Amino, which I don't even know if it's still a thing, which honestly like was for the best. But now I have like no online social skills, so that's a struggle. But during Art Fight, talking to people was just like such a breeze, because everyone was so nice and awesome and cool and special. And literally till this day, like honestly like yesterday, I go back to like random comment sections and just reread past conversations like a weirdo. I hope in the future I'll be able to build like a super cool and awesome supportive community that I saw in Art Fight. I don't know, it was really cool. And during August, I did almost nothing. I think I produced like 2 TikTok videos and that was it. Art fight really burnt me out, obviously. I think I made like 38 drawings, which is like more than one a day. I think I was like in the very beginning to like mid-August, I was pumping out like 3 fully rendered, lined, and painted drawings. It was wild. But no, after doing all that, I decided to do some more like casual drawings, very sparsely. But because of art fight, I've been able to draw not only much quicker, but also like much more complex material a lot easier as well. And looking back, I think it was like the first summer where I was actually like productive and made improvements to myself. Through the last 3 months, I finally pushed past 2K, which I was stuck at for almost like a year, and grew up to 17.3K on TikTok, which honestly, like, I'm still wrapping my head around. Oh my gosh, it's wild. But now that August is coming to a close and the school year is starting again, I just remembered that I'm like a senior in like my last year of high school. I feel like with the current state of the world, with like capitalism and politics and responsibility in general, everyone is like kind of scared to grow up. And I don't know whether it's just like I failed to understand the gravity of the situation, or I'm incredibly delusional or something. But being adult, like, it's actually something I've looked forward to since I was like 11. I always imagined myself like super hot and rich and famous and awesome and cool. And if there's one thing about me, I definitely consider myself an optimist. Like, with all the stigma around choosing art as a career and the threat of AI, a lot of people, unfortunately, are changing their career paths away from art into something more stable. It's not really something I thought of until recently, but it's just like, because I never imagined myself not being an artist. Unfortunately, art is like the only thing I'm not bad at. So this is actually my only choice, no matter the circumstances. But in all honesty, like, people's opinions never really changed my mind on anything, which I'm really grateful for, because my worst fear is choosing a job I'll be miserable in because I choose stability over passion. Like, I don't want to live to be miserable. That's awful. And I'm really hoping that since senior year is pretty easy, I'll have no trouble locking in. School burning out artists is probably like the most common phenomenon that artists experience in the world. Typically, like, large workloads and the stress of people in the actual building being an asshole also builds up. To avoid this, I've taken the least amount of classes possible and have become extremely, like, I don't want to use the word detached, but maybe nonchalant. I'll say nonchalant. Because, like, once you realize that you're never going to be seeing these people ever again, like, actually nothing matters. Like, in a couple months, I'm never going to look at anybody here ever again. So, like, oh, boo-hoo to the slur-shouting gym boys who think I look emo. Like, live, laugh, love, carry on. Something I have avoided my entire high school career thus far has definitely been art classes. I took 2, and both times I got extremely burnt out. It's not the teacher's fault. She's actually very lovely, and because of her, my technical skills have definitely improved. But I've never been pushed into boredom as hard as I did when taking those classes. Horrendous. Sophomore year, I had it, first semester, and I didn't make art for an entire year afterwards. Like, there was no sophomore year sketchbook gang. I think art definitely gets ruined by the way that school sets it up, because things need to be graded objectively, like with a rubric, if that makes sense, in a certain time span. So I found it very hard to incorporate like my own style without sacrificing some points, or not being able to put in all my effort because of due dates. I think if the teachers had full control of setting up their own class, it would be much more productive artistically. I was always grateful that my teacher would give me extensions, and I also used to take a lot of time into, trying to perfect my technique in detail. But of course, like, the teacher can only be so flexible. And some people try to argue, like, oh, it's preparing students for the reality of working as an employed artist. Which, like, I agree. Like, it has its similarities. But I'd rather not be burnt out when I don't have to. And it kind of just, like, works against my goals, really. And I only have, like, so much energy in me dedicated towards art. And, I'd rather use it for more personal projects rather than school projects. Being a senior this year means I pretty much have no work, as I said earlier, and so much free time. So instead of like focusing on school, because why would I ever want to do that? I'm going to be focusing on improving my skills and establishing my presence as an online artist. Seeing like the exponential growth occurring over the summer has been so inspiring for me. And on a platform such as TikTok, it is really hard to maintain relevancy. And I always feel like it's going to last forever, and that I'm missing out on a window of opportunity. So I've broken this down into parts. The plan is to like develop a portfolio, which basically means just like a cute Instagram page and a couple of YouTube videos so people can get to know me or whatever. Building a following, which I'm already kind of doing. But more specifically, I guess like a community. I'm not really sure how to go about that, but I'll work it out. And networking with some other artists. I think this one in particular is going to be hard for me because I'm socially awkward online. And I'm going to have to do a lot more research about how to go about this because, as I said earlier, I don't know anything. Oh no. But hopefully along the way, I discover more about myself and my art, and that I'll find a way to make it work eventually. And hopefully I'll actually figure out what I want to do with my art. I think I'll make another video discussing the plans I have for my art journey this year because it's pretty lengthy, and honestly, I think it deserves its own video. Jump forward after like 12 hours after recording that. I'm probably definitely never going to record ever again at 12 a.m. Well, my bad, 2 a.m. Because I think I sound really tired and like weirdly pessimistic. It was so weird. I promise I'm not like that, guys. But now that I'm like awake, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Maybe you like related to any of like the struggles I mentioned regarding art in school, or honestly a mixture of both, because if you're a student, it goes hand in hand. And if you have any of your own like loser art kit experiences, feel free to tell me about it, because as I said earlier, I love reading comments, and honestly I'll try my best to reply to them. As I said, like I'm not good at it. I'm so awkward online, at least. And I think that's all I wanted to mention. Yeah, well, I hope y'all have a good day. Be creative. Bye bye.